Fat loss really is this simple and you need to stop overcomplicating it. So my name's Harry, I'm a full-time in-person personal trainer working at my local David Lloyd clubs, and I'm also a full-time online coach as well. And I was having a conversation with one of my in-person clients the other day, and what she was saying is that she's been working with me for 8 weeks now and she's just lost over 10 kilo now, which is great. And one of the big things that stood out to me was she said that, Harry, you just made everything so simple. There's so much conflicting information online in terms of, all these big phrases, intermittent fasting, keto, and a million different other things about how to create fat loss, when in reality, it is so drop dead simple, but people overcomplicate it. There's so much information out there. So in this video, I'm gonna break down to you guys the fundamentals of fat loss and how to make it as simple as possible so you guys can start dropping body fat in the next few weeks. So when it comes to losing body fat, there are 3 main fundamentals that you need to get dialed in. Once these are dialed in, you're absolutely laughing and the body fat will be coming off. So those 3 things are: 1, being in a calorie deficit. So that's eating less than what you're burning in terms of energy each and every single day. 2, that is nailing your nutrition. Nutrition has to be on point. It's as simple as that, okay? And the 3rd point is consistency. So I'm gonna deep dive into all of these now. Right, so the most important thing when it comes to fat loss, the absolute fundamentals, and I cannot stress this enough, is being in what's called a calorie deficit, okay? So essentially, you need to be burning more energy than you're consuming each day. So let's say the average male burns 2,500 calories a day. You need to eat below this to a sensible amount to ensure that you are losing body fat, okay? So get rid of all the intermittent fasting and the keto and the water fast and the cutting carbs. Bin all of that, okay? I'm not saying you need to track every single calorie and become obsessive over it, but the biggest advice that I can give to clients is start tracking your food and be mindful of what you're eating, okay? So apps like MyFitnessPal are great. Just put all your settings into it, plug all your health and data into that, your age, height, weight, gender, all that sort of stuff, and then it will give you a number. It will give you a number to aim for. You want to track your food, okay? So input the food on there. It takes a little bit of time, but it is well worth doing. It's short-term discomfort, long-term gain, okay? Start to get an idea of what sort of food you're eating, the calories that each food amounts to, and then if the weight starts to come down, if you step on the scales and the weight is coming down, brilliant, you're in a deficit, okay? Because if you are eating less than you're consuming, or if you're eating less than you're burning, you will lose weight, simple as that, okay? If the scale is staying stagnant and it's not moving, then you need to decrease what you're eating slightly. I would only decrease it by 100 or 200 calories. Now, you don't have to do this for long periods of time. You'll learn what you enjoy. You'll learn how to place yourself in a deficit, but I highly recommend tracking food just initially to get yourself started, to learn what is a deficit for yourself, and then make progress from there. When it comes to deciding how much of a deficit you should be in, you should aim to be in a calorie deficit of around 300 to 500 calories, okay? This is gonna be sufficient for most to place you in a deficit, but make sure that you're not starving, okay? Lots of people, they go too hard, too fast. They put themselves in a really high deficit of 1,000 calories plus, and it works for a little while. You'll be absolutely starving, the body fat will be coming off. However, the bigger deficit you're in, the harder it is. It takes insane willpower to be in a heavy deficit. You're better off doing a small deficit, staying consistent week on week, and losing half a kilo to a kilo each and every single week, okay? Instead of losing these massive amounts each week. Plus, it's healthier as well to be in a smaller deficit, okay? So make sure you're in a deficit of 300 to 500 calories and just stay consistent with it. So it might not sound like a lot, but over weeks and months, this amount of fat loss can amount to 10, 20, maybe even 30 kilo. I had a client who lost 32 kilo last year just by doing a small deficit consistently week on week. So you don't need to be in a massive deficit. Don't rush it. Do it slowly and do it right. So you've now placed yourself in a calorie deficit, okay? You're eating less than what you're burning each day, which is great. You're gonna be reducing your body fat percentage. Now you wanna make sure that your nutrition is absolutely on point, okay? So when we're dieting, when we're losing body fat, we wanna make sure that our protein is in the right place, okay? Protein is gonna boost our satiety, so keep us fuller for longer, and it's also gonna help us retain and build muscle mass during the dieting phase, because what we don't want to do is lose a load of lean muscle mass when we're dieting. So it's important that we keep the protein high. I would aim for around 2 to 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight to ensure that you've got sufficient protein going in for repair alongside your training while you're dieting. It's also important to make sure that you're getting real food whilst you're dieting, okay? So when you're on limited calories, don't waste these on things like KFCs, McDonald's, that sort of stuff. eat real food. You're gonna feel 10 times better for it. Get your fruit and veg in, get your protein in, get your meat in. Eat real food whilst dieting and you'll feel 10 times better. It's also gonna make you feel fuller for longer, because things like McDonald's, it sounds great, you know, you're gonna go there, enjoy it. However, it's gonna digest really fast and it's going to be gone straight away, and it's going to leave you absolutely starving after that, even for the same calories, because things like that, foods that aren't, you know, whole foods, are very calorie dense. Okay, so what that means is it's going to be not a lot of stomach volume for quite a lot of calories. So stick to real foods, things that grow in the ground, things that have a parent, and you'll be losing body fat in no time. One of the biggest recommendations I make to clients that are in a fat loss phase is base your meals around your protein. So decide your protein source for the meal, let's say some beef, then choose a carbohydrate source, let's say some rice or some pasta, and then supplement the rest of that with veg. Okay, this is going to leave you fuller for longer and make sure that you're losing body fat, but also getting all the nutrients that you need as well. I just want to quickly interrupt the video to say, if you guys are enjoying this or you're finding it useful, please do drop me a subscribe and a follow on Instagram at coachedbyhbn. It helps me out massively, and I'm going to try and pump out as much free educational training, nutrition and lifestyle content as best I can for you guys. Now, the third factor when it comes to making fat loss simple, and one that is so often overlooked, is consistency. So I know, boring, but hear me out, okay? If you're not consistent with your fat loss, if you do not make it a lifestyle change, you will put the weight back on, okay? Now, a person that is consistent 85% of the time over 12 months will make way more progress than someone who goes hard and fast for 2 or 3 weeks and then puts all the weight back on, okay? So you need to make the lifestyle changes. Stop telling yourself you're on a diet right now, and just make the lifestyle changes and change your habits, okay? Because at the end of the day, right, fat loss isn't something that is, you know, done once and then forgotten. Our body weight is always gonna fluctuate. We're gonna be times where we need to gain weight, times where we need to lose weight. If we can build the healthy habits and healthy lifestyle into our life, we're gonna be way better off for it. So I know it's boring, but you need to make the lifestyle changes. From a coaching perspective, the clients who make the best progress are the ones that make the lifestyle changes. The ones that go hard and fast, they do a 1200 calorie deficit, they train 7 days a week, and they cut out all food groups, and they go really hard and aggressive. They make great progress. They make great progress for 3 weeks, and then they snowball, something happens, and they put all the weight back on. But the clients that sort their diet out, they put themselves in a sensible calorie deficit and stay consistent with it, make way better progress. Yes, it does take longer, but it's short-term discomfort, long-term gain. Again, you need to make the decision to change your habits and your lifestyle so you don't end up in the same situation that you're in right now. So those are the fundamentals of how to lose body fat, okay? Make sure you're in a calorie deficit, your nutrition is on point, and you're staying consistent over time. But these are 2 bonus points that I also mentioned to clients, because if you get these in order, it's only gonna accelerate your fat loss. So firstly, that is increasing your NEAT. So that's your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, okay? Fancy word for basically saying move more, essentially. Outside of the gym, increase your steps, walk more. Be more active throughout the day. Get up from your desk and do a lap of the office once every hour, okay? Little things like this will add up. Parking at the back of the car park when you go to the supermarket, meaning you've got to walk further to the shop and back. All these little things add up. I've had clients before where they've not made a single change to their diet, but they've increased their steps from 5K a day to 8K a day, and they've seen a world of difference in fat loss because they've created more of an energy deficit. So things like this, you don't have to constantly reduce food. You can also just increase your output to then increase the calorie deficit that you're in. And the second thing is making sure you are sleeping like a baby. 7 to 8 hours every night is going to help with hunger, it's going to help with discipline, it's going to help with willpower when you're pushing through the hunger to create a calorie deficit. You need to sort your sleep out, okay? If you're getting enough sleep, it's going to make dieting way easier. If you're getting 4 to 5 hours a night, your chances of slipping up on your fat loss will increase significantly. So make sure you're getting your head down as best as possible. So with fat loss, it's a long-term game. So stop chasing perfection and start chasing a routine that you can stick to consistently. So that's it. That's how simple it is to lose body fat. That's how I help my clients lose body fat. And it really is as simple as being in a calorie deficit, keeping your protein high and keeping your nutrition in place. Being consistent over time, moving more and sleeping well. Nail those 5 pillars and the body fat will come off, okay? Don't focus too much on what the fitness industry is trying to sell you. Focus on just nailing the basics. And then if you want to take it that next step up as you go, you can do that. But honestly, you will get 99% of the gains that you want to make out of those 5 fundamentals. Everything else is just an extra 1%. I hope you guys have found this video useful. If you could drop me a subscribe, it would do a world of favors for my channel as I am trying to grow this, so I would massively appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace.